The year is 1929. The city of Chicago stands at a crossroads, a bustling metropolis teetering on the edge of chaos. Chicago shivers under a blanket of snow, its streets cloaked in a wintry silence that belies the turmoil brewing beneath. The air hangs heavy with the scent of coal smoke and something more sinister: fear. The city's heartbeat is irregular, pulsing with dread and anticipation. The rattle of Tommy guns echoes through the streets, a staccato symphony of violence that has become all too familiar. This is the reign of Al Capone, the ruthless king of Chicago's underworld. His shadow looms large over the city, a dark figure in a fedora and pinstripe suit. His name is whispered in fear, a testament to his power and brutality. Citizens speak of him in hushed tones, their eyes darting nervously as if he might appear at any moment. The city, once a symbol of American progress, now cowers under the grip of organized crime. The skyline, a testament to human ingenuity, now casts long shadows of corruption and vice. Capone's empire stretches far and wide, fueled by illegal booze, gambling, and vice. The Prohibition era has turned the city into a playground for the lawless. From dingy speakeasies to opulent hotels, his influence is inescapable. Every corner of the city bears his mark, a testament to his far-reaching control. But behind the facade of wealth and power hides a dark and violent truth. The streets run red with the blood of those who dare to oppose him. Capone's story is a cautionary tale, a reminder of the seductive nature of power and the corrosive effects of corruption. His rise to power is a testament to the fragility of law and order. It is a journey into the heart of America's past, a time when the nation grappled with social upheaval and the allure of easy money. The American dream, twisted and distorted, becomes a nightmare. This is the story of Al Capone, a man who rose from humble beginnings to become America's most notorious gangster. His legacy is a dark chapter in the annals of American history, a stark reminder of the perils of unchecked ambition and the dark allure of power. Alphonse Gabriel Capone was born in 1899, the son of Italian immigrants in the crowded tenements of Brooklyn, New York. His parents, Gabriele and Teresa Capone, had come to America seeking a better life, but their reality was far from their dreams. Life was hard. Poverty was a constant companion. The family struggled to make ends meet, living in a cramped apartment with little to no privacy. The streets, with their own set of rules, beckoned. They were a world unto themselves, filled with danger and opportunity. Young Al, restless and ambitious, found himself drawn to the allure of street gangs. These gangs offered a sense of belonging and a way to escape the grinding poverty of his daily life. He craved the respect and power they offered. The gangs were a brotherhood, a family that promised protection and a chance to rise above his circumstances. He joined the notorious 5 Points Gang, a breeding ground for young criminals. This gang was infamous for its violent activities and its influence over the streets of New York. It was here, under the tutelage of seasoned gangsters, that Capone honed his skills. He learned the art of extortion, the nuances of bribery, and the brutal efficiency of violence. He proved to be a quick learner. His natural charisma and cunning made him a favorite among the gang leaders. He embraced the violence and ruthlessness that came with the territory. Each fight, each act of aggression only solidified his reputation as a force to be reckoned with. His reputation grew with each successful job, each act of brutality. The name Al Capone began to strike fear into the hearts of his enemies and command respect from his peers. Capone was no ordinary thug. He was cunning, ambitious, and utterly ruthless. He had a vision for himself that went beyond the petty crimes of the streets. He yearned for more than just a life on the streets. He wanted power, influence, and the wealth that came with it. He set his sights on the pinnacle of power. Capone was determined to rise to the top, no matter the cost, and he would stop at nothing to achieve his goals. Capone's life took a decisive turn when he caught the eye of Johnny Torrio, a powerful mob boss operating in Chicago. Torrio, known for his strategic mind and business acumen, saw something special in the young Capone. Torrio saw potential in the ambitious young gangster and brought him to the Windy City. Chicago, with its bustling streets and thriving underground economy, was the perfect place for Capone to hone his skills. Chicago in the 1920s was a city on the verge of chaos. The rapid urbanization and influx of immigrants created a melting pot of cultures and, inevitably, conflicts. The recent enactment of Prohibition had created a lucrative black market for alcohol. Speakeasies popped up in every corner, and the demand for illegal booze skyrocketed. Torrio, a shrewd businessman, recognized the immense profits to be made in supplying illegal booze. He quickly established a network of speakeasies and smuggling operations. Capone, with his street smarts and ruthlessness, was the perfect lieutenant. He was not only fearless but also incredibly resourceful, making him indispensable to Torrio's operations. He rose quickly through the ranks, becoming Torrio's trusted enforcer. Capone's reputation for handling difficult situations with brutal efficiency earned him respect and fear. He controlled speakeasies, breweries, and smuggling rings, amassing wealth and power beyond his wildest dreams. His influence extended to every corner of the city, making him a formidable force. Capone, however, was not content to remain in the shadows. He craved recognition, notoriety. He wanted to be seen as more than just a gangster. He wanted to be a public figure. He cultivated an image of a benevolent benefactor, a man of the people. Capone understood the power of public perception and used it to his advantage. He opened soup kitchens and donated to charities, all the while tightening his grip on the city's underworld. His dual persona, as a ruthless mobster and a generous benefactor, made him a complex and enigmatic figure in Chicago's history. Prohibition, meant to curb social ills, had the opposite effect. It fueled the rise of organized crime, transforming gangsters like Capone into wealthy celebrities. The demand for illegal alcohol was insatiable. Speakeasies, hidden behind innocuous storefronts, became the social hubs of the Roaring Twenties. Capone controlled it all. His network of breweries and distilleries churned out gallons of illicit liquor. His trucks, laden with contraband, rumbled through the city streets, often under the noses of bribed officials. Wealth poured in, fueling Capone's ambition and his ego. But this wealth came at a price. Rival gangs, vying for a piece of the pie, clashed in bloody turf wars. Chicago became a battleground, its streets stained with the blood of gangsters and innocent bystanders alike. Capone, always eager to eliminate competition, orchestrated some of the most ruthless acts of violence the city had ever seen. Section 5. Blood on the Streets. The most infamous of these was the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. On February 14, 1929, 7 men associated with the rival North Side gang were brutally gunned down inside a garage. The massacre, a calculated act of brutality, sent shockwaves through the nation. Though never officially linked to the crime, Capone's involvement was an open secret. The massacre solidified his reputation as a ruthless killer, a man who would stop at nothing to maintain his power. The public, initially enamored by Capone's Robin Hood persona, began to see him for what he truly was, a cold-blooded murderer. The massacre also attracted the attention of the federal government. The authorities, fed up with Chicago's lawlessness, were determined to bring Capone down. But Capone, always one step ahead, had corrupted officials, intimidated witnesses, and insulated himself from prosecution. He seemed untouchable. However, Capone had underestimated the tenacity of a young treasury agent named Elliot Ness. Ness, along with his team of incorruptible agents known as the Untouchables, launched a relentless campaign against Capone's empire. They raided his breweries, intercepted his shipments, and exposed his vast network of corruption. Capone, used to operating with impunity, found himself increasingly frustrated by Ness's unwavering pursuit. He retaliated with violence, targeting Ness and his men. But Ness and his team remained undeterred. They knew that to bring down Capone, they needed to find an Achilles heel. They found it in an unlikely place: Capone's finances. While Capone had been careful to avoid direct involvement in his criminal enterprises, he had neglected to pay taxes on his ill-gotten gains. In 1931, Al Capone, the seemingly invincible kingpin, was indicted on charges of tax evasion. The trial was a media sensation. The public, captivated by the drama, followed every twist and turn. Capone, confident in his ability to beat the charges, was visibly shaken when the guilty verdict was read. He was sentenced to 11 years in federal prison. His empire, built on violence and corruption, crumbled. Capone was initially sent to Atlanta Penitentiary but was later transferred to the notorious Alcatraz Island, a symbol of the government's determination to break him. Gone were the days of luxury and power. Capone, stripped of his wealth and status, was just another inmate. Prison life was harsh. Capone, accustomed to the finer things in life, struggled to adapt. His health, already weakened by syphilis, deteriorated rapidly. The once feared gangster was now a shadow of his former self. After serving 7 years of his sentence, Capone was released on compassionate grounds. His mind and body were broken. The once powerful gangster was now a shell of a man, his reign of terror over. Al Capone died in 1947 at the age of 48. His death marked the end of an era. Capone's life and crimes left an enduring mark on American history. He became a cultural icon, his story told and retold in books, films, and television shows, but his legacy is a complex one. He was a ruthless criminal, responsible for countless acts of violence, yet he was also a product of his time, a symbol of the lawlessness and social upheaval that gripped America during the Prohibition era. Al Capone's story serves as a reminder of the seductive nature of power, the corrosive effects of greed, and the importance of upholding the rule of law. It is a story that continues to fascinate and repulse, a stark reminder of a dark chapter in American